I done ruined a whole lot of things. 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 Yep. I done ruined a whole lot of things. And that's when I was coming right back on here first, right back on here. Because I'm not just talking about no brothers and sisters. These things that we're talking about, these things come as the Spirit start reminding you of the life that you done lived over the years. I've been wrong in a whole lot of areas. Type of wrong that'll bring you to your knees. Make I want to start coming. I done did a whole lot of wrong, a whole lot of wrong. I know what the Father done forgiven me for. I know the things that I'm talking about are real. I know what I'm talking about. God done let me go through some experiences that'll probably take 10 of y'all to go through. I know what I'm talking about. When I start talking about being the one that put poison in the hand of your people, being the one that been on drugs, start on weed, go to Black Beauties, go to Sherm, go to Water, go to Lovely, go to Valiums. When I start talking about smoking hash and snorting crack and snorting cocaine and talking about freebasing and talking about smoking primos, all of these years I was selling it to people, but I also bought it from people. We're moving into our own destruction because we will not identify with our own self. I know what I'm talking about. Talking about getting a girl to fall in love with you, knowing that you got a wife at home, one of the most wicked individuals that you could ever think or to believe in. Not because I was a bad person, but because I didn't know which way to go. Coming from a family of alcoholics that never exemplified God's righteousness. Only preacher, only person that was a lover of the word that come down through my family that could teach the word. It came through the experiences. It came through the conviction as I fornicated with my wife and brought forth children here out of wedlock. As I heard my daddy say in his voice, if she's good enough to lay with, then she should be good enough to marry. As I see my daddy take on the responsibility of his children when their mother died. As I see him go and work construction, come home broke down and had to spend all this money. Never had enough for nothing. Drove a raggedy car, a raggedy truck all of his life. I seen it and then walk in the same footsteps of foolishness. Get a wife. Never appreciated. Never knew what marriage was. Never treated her good. Had a dang old outside relationship for the whole 20 years that it existed. And then when it crashed in divorce, I know what it's like for the child support people to come after you. And then you're mad because you got to take care of your children. I've been there. I'm not judging nobody. I'm not talking about nobody. But when I look now and see what the Most High have done for trying to be obedient, you might not have it all together, but don't become a despiser of small things. If the Bible says it is the start that God looks at. It is the start, sister, that God look at when you change your mind and say, I'm going to live my life in righteousness. It is the start, brother, when you change your mind and say, I got too many problems, but I'm going to start working on this own. It is the start that God looks at. I don't say these things from a judgmental standpoint. Because when I was out there in the game, start carrying the guns at 17 years old, long before all of my peers didn't have a problem bringing no harm upon one of my brothers, as I jack a gun off and shoot bullets and then go along and pray to the Most High that a brother didn't die. There was always a level of conviction, and there's conviction in everybody's life that watch these videos because you are not purely wicked. You have righteousness of the Most High down in you. We don't look at these situations from the standpoint of judging our brothers. Yes, I'm hard on the homosexuals because as a child, I remember it was homosexuals on our block throughout the neighborhood. Our block was where all the homosexuals decided to gather at. It was then that you'll see those trying to tamper with the little children. You didn't understand what they was doing then while they was corrupting your purity. But as you got older, you seen the time that they're trying to give you a quarter to come in the back of the house. You seen those things that they'll be trying to touch on you and do all these things in the name of fun. That's why I'm grown now. It was a form of hatred, because anybody that will tamper with a little child has to be one that hates the Most High, or have been one that have been tampered with themselves. So when I talk about these things, they're not from no standpoint of judgmental. I've been there. God give me the grace to go in there and be there, and didn't let me have enough humility to come and talk about it. Somebody want to judge me? Go right ahead. I'll tell you every secret that I ever been through. Go ahead and judge me. Judge me. I've already judged myself. The scripture says that he that judges himself is not judged of no man. There is nothing that nobody gonna pull off of me. You ain't gonna pull no cover off of me. If I was on TV today or tomorrow, they ain't gonna be able to find nothing to discredit me. I will tell the whole world about where I'm at. I'm the one that's at fault. I'm the one that's to blame. Soon as you learn a little Bible, become a tyrant in your own house, to the point to where the wife that once loved you can't even stand to look at you because you can't find no good thing in her. It's something wrong with everything that she do. Sister, same way. That husband that took care of you, soon as you learn that you're Hebrew Israelite, soon as you learn a little Bible, you want to run off as though God gonna sanction that. Now every time you look at him, you see something detestable because he don't see what you see, and that's complete foolishness. It's another form of our foolishness and our failure and our inability to live and look at our own self, at our own life, caught up in all type of foolishness, looking for things to validate us. Oh, this fresh paint job and these new rims gonna validate me. I'm something in somebody's eyes. Oh, this nice house that I gotta pay 30 years and be a slave for 30 years. Oh, it's gonna validate me before my brothers and my sisters. Oh, some jokers out here. Oh, I got this big $9 cigar in my mouth. Oh, it's gonna validate me. It's gonna validate. No, it's the cowboy hat that I'm wearing. It's gonna validate me. No, it's the motorcycle that I'm riding with the boys. It's gonna validate me. All these things we looking for some validation. I wouldn't care what nobody said. If God don't stand up and say, well done, you ain't done nothing but found your life in a place of perishing by your own hand. You ain't getting no respect. Ain't no man worthy of no respect. Not the man that they would put the title of elder on ain't worthy of no respect. In God's eyes, the pastor don't get no respect. The apostle don't get no respect. All of those have transgressed the words of Hamashiach that told us, be not called rabbi, rabbin, be not called teacher, be not called father. We want everybody to respect us for who we were, but God said, I ain't respecting no man's person, because for one piece of bread, he'll transgress and climb through somebody's window. One piece of bread, if he get hungry enough, he'll steal something. Every time he go to the grocery store, he transgress against me by killing the things that I gave life to and being a partaker of the innocent blood that had been spilled. You see, all of these things, they come by way of experience. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, because it ain't me. It's the spirit that'll tear a man's mail open and read it. How you know that about me? How you talking about me? I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about one that have already been through the same thing that you might find yourself going through. That's how. I'm talking about me, so that many of you other brothers and sisters can come to understand, hey, it's all right. It's all right for me to pull my shirt off. It's all right for me to be wounded. It's all right for me to be imperfect. It's all right for me to not be right all the time, to not see it the same way. It's all right for me to disagree. This is my life that I'm living. Things that I don't know now, I may know later. This is my life that I'm living. You see, this ain't no rehearse. You can't rehearse how you going to live the next day. You just got to raise up and pray that the Most High give you the grace to go where he called. Go wherever he sends you and do whatever. You got to pray. You can't rehearse life. Too many of us, you trying to rehearse life to be a pleaser of people? Are you kidding me? No, you can't rehearse no life. Just got to be said. You see, something got to be said. We're all young kings, you know what I mean? I tell our brothers all the time, hey, don't get hung up on things that people disagree with, even where the scripture is concerned. You know why? Because us having a debate about something that happened 2,000 years ago, us having a debate about all of this type of stuff, it ain't impacting no life. What it is draining the energy out of the life and making the life that you're living right now unproductive. Because you can't rehearse life. I don't care what you read in the Bible. I don't care what you read in the Bible. The Bible is one of 1,000 books that have been written. No man can know the grand totality of the righteousness of the Most High. So why are you going to sit around and just be wasting time arguing about something? We ain't even dealt with things that need attention in our own life. And it's amazing. We better look at ourselves because we're going to have to start seeing ourselves as the Most High sees us. You see? And right now, people think because they come to understand they Hebrew Israelites, because they in church, Hebrew Israelites and the Christian, they both alike. One have stuck his head in a book and won't come out. The other have stuck his head in sand and won't come out. But the people that God need to be representing him need to pull their head up out the book and pull their head up out the sand and let the book of life start doing the teaching. That means I don't need no other book. When God breathed life in me and I wake up breathing, I'm exemplifying. I'm watching his holy and righteous laws made manifest. I'm watching his laws of forgiveness, his laws of compassion, his laws of mercy. I don't need nobody to teach me about that. Yesterday when I laid down, I deserved judgment. But today I woke up. That means that I woke up to new mercy. That means that I woke up to the law of forgiveness in operation. All I got to do now is go out there and live my life. You're going to live your life. Live your life. I've been guilty. I've stuck my head in the book and been in that book for so many years, I ain't got to open up the book anymore. I ain't even got to open up the book anymore because there's so much stuff. It's more stuff crammed up here in my head than I'm ever going to be able to live up to. So now it's like, okay, let me start reading the new book. Let me give you an example of what it means to read a new book. Because all of the animals that are on the earth, people classify them as animals. Mankind don't look at them as other nations. Other nations with the ability to communicate and with ears to hear. I wonder whose law they're hearing. I wonder whose law they're obeying while the hummingbird is humming at the flower. I wonder whose voice they are hearing that tells them where their sustenance is. I wonder whose voice the whales and the fish in the ocean are hearing as they care for their young. Do you see them down there reading books? Yet they are up under the laws of the Most High. You see, there ain't but one way to serve God and to keep his laws. That means that you have to be living them. You have to be living them. And for every minute that you spend stuck in some book listening to the dead words of dead men that they wrote when they were living, you're wasting the life that the Most High had given you. It don't take all that. And the only reason why we do it, I'm telling you, because I once had the same mindset. We think we need to do it for other people. All that learning ain't for the person that's learning. Majority of that learning that brothers are in these books trying to learn is born out of a motive to come and tell it to somebody else. But it's not the somebody else that needs to hear it. It is the individual that needs to live by it. Because when we start living by the things that we know, then we keep our mouth closed and then our words speak through our demonstration. But if I never look at myself as though I'm part of the problem, just something to think about, people. So I had to come and put this little second half on there because I don't want people to think that I'm being judgmental. I ain't being judgmental. I'm going to be the one standing out in front. I'm going to be the one standing out in front, the first one that claimed that he been a fool for a great portion of his life. The claim that he didn't know all answers. The claim that he was wrong. Claim he left a trail of damage. Claim he done all of these other things that people are too ashamed to tell people that they done. That's the whole purpose. You don't have to be ashamed. The Most High say don't despise small beginnings. We all weak. We all frail. We all got idiosyncrasies. We all got character defects because we're born in the image and in the likeness of our fallen father, Adam. And so we all have a right to do one thing. Be straight out fuck-ups. We all have a right to do that. That's the only God-given right that we have in this world up under our father's sin. That's the only right that we have. But just because that's where we at, don't mean that that's where we have to remain. Because we can make a better choice than our father Adam made. Let's just know who we're going to serve. You see, and our service to God or anybody else is going to begin by us looking at ourselves. But how you going to be bound and then lose somebody? You see, how you going to do it? Many of us are bound in areas that we're trying to loose people on Facebook. You're trying to get somebody broke from the stronghold of fornication because we can talk about it on Facebook. But in your real life, you bound by it yourself. We got to be able to look at ourselves. It ain't about what the Most High going to do for the next man. It's about where do I line up with you, Father? Where do I line up as an individual? Help me to see myself for who I am in your eyes and not see myself for who I am through the eyes of people. Because I don't want to spend my energy putting up a facade so that I can look good in the eyes of people when I am looking detestable and abominable in your eyes. Whatever it takes for me to be an overcomer in these areas, help me to focus on the things that have been placed in my care in my house, so that when I see what's happening on the TV news, that don't come in and become a distraction for where I'm at and what my responsibility is. Help me to see myself before I see the condition of my brother. Help me to understand and look at my character defects before I ever try to tell somebody else what's right for their life or what's wrong with their life. I ask before I get there that you will show me what's wrong with my life and help my eyes to stay focused on that area and give me the understanding to know that every man will have the same responsibility that we are praying for on this day. Teach every man how to be preoccupied with his own house first, for it is his own house that he is going to have to get together in your eyesight. That's a prayer that we pray. Teach me how to be a man that can respond in ways that will bring a smile to your face. Don't let me be a man that responds based on how I want people to view me. Let me respond in ways that will bring a smile to your face. If I'm out of order when it comes to my wife and to my children, I ask that you don't show me the thing about my wife that I don't want to see. But I ask that you will show me on how I can deal with the situation in a better way where she don't get hit with the brunt of what I feel. If it's my children, help me to understand that the same way you give me a life, you give them a life. Help me not to try and control my children's life by the bad choices that I have made, because they may not make the same ones. Help me to give my children the freedom to make their own choices and to make their own mistakes. Only help me to be in a position as a parent that when they need me, I am able to be a righteous father like you asked me to be. Help me in my life. Help me to not get frustrated with husbandry nor with labor, because you said it was good, not just husbandry, but labor as well. Hate not husbandry nor laborious work. Help me to not hate getting up, going to work every day. No matter how tired I am, help me to be able to see all of the beautiful and wonderful things that will come out of my labor. And help me to see all of the wonderful things that will come out of my labor as a result to my marriage too. Whatever the problem is with my marriage, whether it's me or my mate, we ask that you will help us, help me as a husband, see my responsibility to you and not my wife. And help me also see my wife's responsibility as not to me, but to you. These are some simplistic things that we deal with on a daily basis. These things require prayer. If we start operating like the Most High tells us to operate, we can see the whole situation changing. But as long as we not operating right, it's going to manifest itself in the world that we living in, that we are operating in wickedness, that we don't have no private prayer life, that we don't have no consecrated time. And even if we do have consecrated time, our motive for the consecrated time ain't right. There are some people out here that are so convinced about reading the Bible that they ain't even got time to help nobody. That they ain't even got time to help nobody. I could give you a ride, but you're going to have to catch the bus because I got to study this lesson. Really? So whatever it is, we're gonna have to analyze our own self and where we at. And we're going to have to live in this life that we live in. And our perspectives may be different. And we may disagree on things. But at the end of the day, it don't matter what neither one of us see. Only thing matters is what God see. And when we shift our focus from each other, looking at our perspectives, how about each man put his perspective up against God's perspective? You see, don't nobody want to do that. And it's God the one that's in the book talking about, come now, let us reason together. Why is it that don't nobody want to reason with the Most High when the Most High start reasoning? You see, when the Spirit of the Most High get ready to start reasoning, he'll come on now, let us reason together. Why is it you'll reason with your brother? You'll reason with your brother that don't have the same book that you have. You'll reason with your brother that's in a different religious construct than you. Why don't you come and reason with me? Come now, let us, brothers. Come now, brothers. Come now, sisters. Let us reason together with the Most High. Let us put our perspective up against the Most High's perspective. And let's see whether we got a disagreement. Let's see how that's going to turn out. Come now, let us reason together. The Most High, he go to and fro through the earth looking for a man. Where is he at? Where is he at? Come on now, brothers, let us reason together. That's what the Most High is saying. If you want to reason with somebody in your life, go reason with the Most High. You see, because when we start reasoning with the Most High, hey, all the argument goes out of that. Because we going to see ourselves for what we really are. Now, if we refuse to reason with the Most High, then that says one thing. That says I have an impure motive. And I have a wicked desire. And I'm not concerned about my life. I'm only concerned about what everybody else is doing. Look on Facebook and you'll see it. Why is it that the Christians do this? Why is it that the Hebrew Israelites do this? Why is it that black men hate black women so? Why is it that black women hate black men so much? Why is it that the police is always doing this? Why is it that the church did this? Why is it that the King James is this? Why is it that the Apocrypha is this? It's always why is it that something else? It is never why is it that I think like I think, see what I see. Why do I walk like I walk? Why do I continue to do the foolishness that I'm doing? Why is it that I can't get over the problem? Why is it that I can't seem to understand? You see, we never use the word I when it comes down to our wretchedness before the eyes of the Most High. But we'll use that I as it relates to pride. We'll never use the I as it relates to humility. Why am I so distraught? Why am I so cast down? Oh, my soul, why am I so cast? Why is my soul disquieted in me? Why are my bones out of joint? Oh, why is all of my flesh being consumed? Oh, that's a man. That's a man that's operating according to the scripture. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Oh, when you start asking yourself, when you start using the I word in the right way, hey, baby, help is on the way, because you're mourning over something. You ain't asking the question, why is my brother like that? I don't understand why these dudes is like that. I don't understand why women got that. Oh, I don't understand why she got them eyelashes on. Oh, I don't understand why they got to walk around. Oh, you ain't using the I right. When you start using the I right, oh, Most High, why is it that I ain't never got nothing good to say? Why is it everything that I see, I got to find something to disagree on? Why is it that you start asking yourself the right question? And the Most High tell you. He said, well, you asked the question. I'm glad you asked. This is the reason why you like that. You're full of pride, and you're arrogant. And you think that all these books that you done read that brought you to a place to where you're better than somebody. That's why you got an evil eye towards your brother. That's why you always think you're right. Oh, Most High, why? Why? It seems like every time I take one step forward, I get knocked 2 steps backward. I tell you why. I'm glad you asked. Because every time I allow you to get 2 steps forward, you get lazy and you get slack-handed. And you end up laying off in times of harvest. You get lazy and sleepy-eyed. And that's why you keep ending up in the same place. He said, but you know what? If you'll stay with your hand to the plow, you can be where anybody else is. When we start asking ourselves, when we start asking God, why are we like this? Oh, Lord, why is it that I just can't tolerate my wife? I just ain't got no. Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked, because you think that you somehow or another, you're a little bit more righteous. You bought the lie that women should just obey you and submit themselves to you. Never mind the fact that I told you it was a scale that had to be balanced, that both of you would be submitting yourself to one another. But because you done gotten to a place to where you bought, I'm the man, you can't no longer submit yourself to your wife. And when you can't humble yourself and submit, now any little thing that your wife do gets on your nerves because you think that you are. See, that's God talking to us. When we start asking the Most High about us, oh, Most High, why is it that I know that that's my child, and I know that me and the mother don't, oh, why I just have such I want to just go off, and why I just want to do her harm because she put child support on me. I'm glad you asked. You are like that because you're an irresponsible lowlife of a man, and you ain't never looked in a way to exemplify my righteousness. And so anytime anybody challenges you to pull your pants up and stand up straight, you got a problem with it. He said, and that's why you like that. Because when you start moving in the area of righteousness, then you'll understand. You'll take care of what belongs to you. When we start asking the Most High, man, I'm telling you the honest to God truth, it's easier to quit eating flesh and blood than it is for you to not ask the question about somebody else and ask the question about the Most High. And I can prove that. I bet you if we went for 3 days, everybody that's on this post, if they could go 3 days without asking anybody a question about somebody else, and every question that they would ask, it would be about their own life, I bet you we will have almost everybody to fail at that. Now, say it ain't so. Because that'd be a challenge for me too. Say it ain't so. Anybody that's on this thread that think you could go 3 days Every time you want to ask the question about why this is like that, why this is like Black Lives Matter, why this is Democrat, Republican, everybody that think you could go 3 days, and every time you want to ask the question about something, it's a question that you ask God about you. If you think you can go 3 days, I guarantee you some of you learn more about yourself in 3 days than you done learned in the last 20 years. What y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? Is it anybody? We're already on the 14-day no meat fast. You know what that say? That says that when we denying ourselves the flesh and blood of animals, that means there's going to be importation of the spirit. And when there's an importation of the spirit need to have some work to do. Tell me on top of this 14-day no meat fast that we'll put 3 days in there. 3 days to where every time we want to ask a question about anything, it will only be the question we're going to ask God concerning our own life. Yeah, Spirit will remind us every time we get ready to ask the question. And it don't matter what it is. Only thing I'm talking about is that it's dealing with your own business. I mean, you ain't even asking the question about your wife. I don't know why this woman is like this. Why is this one? You ain't even asking that question. You asking the Most High. And you ain't asking the Most High, why is this woman like this? Everybody that's a husband go through this thing. How's I go through it? I put something down. I know exactly where it's at. When I go to get it, it could be 30 minutes later. It's gone. I say to myself, out of all of the pieces of furniture and all of the trinkets and all of the glasses and forks and plates and everything that's in this house that can be moved, why is it that this woman just moves my stuff soon as I set it down? I know every man goes through that. But in this particular challenge, you won't even be able to ask that question about your wife. You could ask the Most High, why is it that I always respond that way when my wife moves my stuff, knowing that she's only in her mind putting it somewhere that she feels like it is better suited and easier to keep up with? Why do I always have a fit like that? You see, that's difficult. It's difficult not to look at other people. It's harder to look at your own self. So when we start dealing with the word of the Most High, we have to deal with the word of the Most High from the standpoint of the life that he have given us to live. Because guess what? Everybody else he have given the same right to live their life. And none of us have a right to take nobody's perspective or why people do things like they do. None of us have a right to take that away from people. And you can't change nobody's life, but we can change our own. But many times our life ain't changing because we're too busy trying to get other people to change their lives when we ourselves ain't even made the necessary changes. So throughout the course, everybody that think that this is something you might want to put them 3 days in there, if you can, if you think that you really got the spirit of empowerment, those brothers that think, that claim, let's put up a shut up, that claim that the Spirit empower you. Let me see the Spirit empower you to only open up your mouth and ask God questions that are concerning you. Let me see you put a 7 up there. We'll put them 3 days right on in there, and we'll come and do another video for any other brothers and sisters on this issue that want to join in. You see? So, I'll wait. And many of our brothers on social media need to be challenged in this area. Just go on Facebook and look. Go on there right now. I wish there was a way that I could pull Facebook up because I read it to you. All of the questions are about what other people are doing, what other people are not doing, what other people might do, what other people might not do. The questions are never designed for themselves. Because if you're going to ask God questions about yourself, I assure you, why you don't put that on Facebook? Why you don't put on Facebook, Lord, why am I so messed up? Lord, why do I have this unforgiveness in my heart? Lord, why is it that I'm the one always on everybody else's nerve? Why you don't put that on Facebook? You ain't going to put that on Facebook. Because don't no man want to uncover himself. And that's why we want to slide this in there. So you see there? Okay. I got 2 sevens. All praises to the Most High, honor and glory to the Most High, Heavenly Father, and His glorious Son for them 2 people that'll be willing that every time they want to ask a question about somebody else, they'll ask the Most High a question about themselves. All praises, honor, and glory for them 2 people. I told you it was more easier to get people that would mind their own business. It was more easier for people to quit eating animals' flesh for 14 days than it would be for people to mind their own business for just 3 days. All praises for them 2 people. All praises for them 2 people right there. Like you start talking about minding your business, you take everybody's weapons away. You take everybody's weapons away. Everybody's weapons. Everybody's weapons. So y'all know all that stuff that I just told y'all about me? Guess what? It's in your hands now. It's in your hands now. Now you know what to do. You're going to have to pray. You're going to have to talk. You're going to have to talk to the Most High on my behalf, but not for 3 days. For 3 days, you ain't talking to nobody, the Most High on nobody's behalf, because you can't fix nobody's life. For the next 3 days, you only talking about to the Most High about the things that are directly pertaining to you. All praises. Now I know. Now the Spirit going to empower. Now we got to pray for each other. Because I'm the same way. And I got brothers that call me on the phone and we get to talking, and the next thing you know, here it comes. Well, you know, man, most of these people, man, I don't know how we're going to get our brothers and sisters on the same page. I got to fight off the same thing. I thank the Most High for letting me see that. Because I'm saying to myself, hey, man, it don't matter what other people are doing. Only thing that matters is what you doing. So don't talk about what nobody else is doing or what nobody, me and my big brother, we be having some conversations. And I throw that out there, he was like, yeah, you right, bro. You right. Because basically what you doing is you handing them a mirror. And time to time, my big brother gets me back. Man, you know what? I don't know, man. I'm just done, man. These people ain't going to get it. These people ain't. And then he hand me that mirror back. The people ain't. You got to worry about you. The Most High deal with them people. So we all going to need prayer in this issue, in this way. All right, let's see. We got Sister Julie Ray Weisk. We got Nathan Israel. And we got Joseph Hurd, Emmanuel. We got 3 people. So you know what that say? Well, some people get on, some people get off. But it'll be more people as people see the video. You know what I mean? But as it relates, we're gonna give you today. The rest of the day is the practice. Because what the Spirit gonna do is every time we do it, the Spirit gonna remind us of what we're doing. So when we go into this on tomorrow for the next 3 days, we'll already be, you know what I mean? We're already to start being governed by the Spirit and watchful for this particular thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start up tomorrow and today for the rest of the day. And you can go on Facebook and you can look at all these things so you can see them crystal clear. Have a personal prayer within yourself. Let the Spirit be on the guard to convict you when it happens. And then tomorrow we'll be ready for the fight. And just like the rest of the brothers and sisters I told, you will understand what free will is all about after that. Those brothers and sisters that just now coming on the line, we are making people look at themselves. We ain't looking at the white man. We ain't looking at the black man. We ain't looking at the Hamitic man. We ain't looking at the Mexican man. We ain't looking at the Jewish man. We ain't looking at the Christian man. We ain't looking at the Islamic man. We ain't looking at the black woman. We ain't looking at our wives. We ain't looking at our children. We ain't looking at nobody except for ourselves. For the next 3 days, on top of the no meat fast, comes the Spirit riding in, and the Spirit needs something to do. So one of the things that we're asking the Spirit to do is for the next 3 days after today, that He'll help us practice so we can be ready to see. And then starting tomorrow, that the Spirit will empower us to only ask the Most High questions that are concerning us as individuals, not my wife, not my children, not my brothers, not my sisters, not the religious constructs, not nothing in this world, not the Democrats, not the Republicans, not Donald Trump, not demons, not angels, not principalities, not books. We're not asking him about anything except for those things that are pertaining to the life that he had given us for the next 3 days. And every time you want to say, I don't understand why people are like this, I want you to go and ask God, hey God, I wonder, why is it that I'm like this? I don't understand why I'm like this, to where I just look at people like, every time you want to say something about your wife, why does this woman just get on my nerves like that? Sometimes I want you to go to the Most High and say, Most High, why is it that every time I feel like this woman is getting on my nerve, can you help me to understand it might be something wrong with me, because I should have more endurance than this? That is the type of scenario. We're going to go to the Most High about everything. Instead of asking a question about Black Lives Matter, I want you to go and ask the Most High the question, Most High, show me where I fit in to this family, so that we can understand our responsibility and accept the responsibility for where we are at as a people. But I, as an individual, need to know where it is that I fit in. We don't want nobody asking no questions about nobody or nothing except those questions that you're going to ask. Watch for 3 days. Watch the post on Facebook change. Watch how the post on Facebook stop. Watch how the post on Facebook stop. You know why? Because you won't be asking no question about Esau. You won't be asking no questions about commit, about the Christian, about the Islamic man, about the black woman. You won't be asking no questions about none of that. Every question you ask, and if the Spirit empower you to remember and go to God at that particular time and ask the question that's based on that thing that you want to ask the question about something else, if the Spirit empower you to remember that and then go to the Most High, guess what? The Most High going to impart some wisdom to you that's literally going to change your life. It's literally going to change your life. Because why? Because our focus has been redirected and our energy is now being put in the place that God desires for it to be, on Him. So all praises to the Most High Heavenly Father's glorious Son.